Today we're going to be looking at Chapter 3, Lesson 7, Dividing Decimals by Decimals, which is found on page 129. How do you divide decimals by decimals? Well, it's very similar to dividing a decimal by a whole number, except we have that outside number and the inside number. When we have our problem set up, you're going to move the decimal on the outside right until it becomes a whole number. Then you're going to move the decimal on the inside right the same number of times that you move the outside decimal. Then the decimal rides the elevator to the top, and then you divide like normal. If you have any empty spots where you don't have a number, you're just going to put a 0 in there to hold the place. Example 1, we have 1.2 divided into 3.6. Step 1 tells us that we're going to move that decimal on the outside to make it a whole number. So we can move it over one spot, and now that becomes 12. So if I move that over one spot, I move this one over one spot, and then it comes up to the top and sits there, and now we have 12 divided into 36, which would go 3 times. So my answer is 3 decimal point, which is the same thing as 3, because we know that this is the same thing as this. Typically we don't see decimals at the end if it's a whole number. That is just the same thing. So our answer is just going to be 3. Let's look at example 2. 0.12 divided into 42.3. I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right to make that a whole number, because I know that 12 is the same thing as 12 with a decimal point at the end. We just don't see it. So that moves over twice. I'm going to move this over twice. I don't have a number here. So anytime you have an empty spot, you're just going to put a 0. The decimal rides up to the top and then sits there. So now I'm going to divide 12 into 42, which would go 3 times. Bring my 3 down. 12 into 63, 5. Bring my 0 down. 12 into 30 would go twice. Now I have a 6 down here. I know I can't leave that like that. I can't put R6, remainder 6. We don't do that anymore. So if I have a number down here, then I need to just add another 0 to the end, bring it down. So now I have 60. 12 goes into 65 times. And you can't see my writing here, but it's 60 minus 60 is 0. So now I'm ending up with a 0 at the bottom. So I know I'm finished. So 352.5 would be my final answer. We will look at some more of these tomorrow and do additional examples in class.